Welcome to Epic, Ancient Mysteries, where we uncover the forgotten riddles of history, stories carved in stone, buried in silence, and still echoing through time. What if the past we think we know is only part of the truth? What if buried beneath layers of dust and time lie artifacts, symbols, and rituals so strange, they defy everything we thought we understood? In this episode, we explore 5 ancient enigmas, from a mysterious stone disk in Egypt to an underground temple that seems built to reshape human perception. These aren't just artifacts. They're unanswered questions carved into the past. Let's begin. Number 1. The Sabu Disk. Deep within an ancient Egyptian tomb, archaeologists uncovered an object unlike anything they had ever seen. It wasn't a statue, nor was it a religious artifact. It looked strikingly modern, like a turbine blade carved from stone. And for over 80 years, this strange artifact has remained a complete mystery. The object was discovered in 1936 by famed Egyptologist Walter Emery during the excavation of the tomb of Sabu, a high-ranking official who lived around 3000 BC, well before the construction of the Great Pyramid. Among the usual offerings and pottery, one item stood out: a finely carved stone disc made from schist, a fragile, flaky rock notoriously difficult to work with. The disc measured about 61 centimeters in diameter and featured 3 curved, inward-facing fins spiraling around a central hole. Its shape immediately evokes comparisons to a turbine, propeller, or some kind of mechanical component, which makes no sense in the context of ancient Egypt's known technology. But what truly puzzles researchers isn't just the design, it's the precision and complexity of the piece. The disc's delicate symmetry, its perfectly centered hole, and the subtle curvature of its fins all suggest it was engineered with purpose, not merely decorative. Yet, no one knows what that purpose might have been. Mainstream archaeologists have proposed that it was a ceremonial object, perhaps a lampstand or a ritual bowl. But critics argue, why carve such a fragile and difficult shape from schist? And why such a technologically suggestive form? Some fringe theorists suggest the disc could be a symbolic recreation of a lost metal device, something that once functioned in a way now forgotten. Others go further, speculating that it may be a remnant of a long-lost advanced civilization, a culture with knowledge that predates our current understanding of ancient history. What makes the mystery deeper is the fact that no other object like it has ever been found in Egypt or anywhere else. The Sabu disk stands alone, isolated in both form and function. It doesn't resemble anything from that period, nor does it fit neatly into any known category of ancient artifact. And so it sits, locked behind glass in the Cairo Museum, quietly challenging everything we think we know about early civilization. Is it a forgotten tool? A ritual relic? Or a glimpse into something we've yet to understand? Like so many ancient enigmas, the Sabu disk doesn't offer answers. Only questions. Number 2. The Baigong Pipes. In the remote mountains of western China, near the edge of the Qinghai Tibet Plateau, stands a pyramid-shaped peak known as Mount Baigong. It would have remained just another windswept landmark, until an expedition in the early 2000s uncovered something deeply unsettling embedded within its stone: a network of ancient pipes made of metal, piercing the mountain from within. These rusted tubes, of varying diameters, appear to be laid with intent, running deep into the mountain and some leading directly into the nearby Tusu Lake, which contains salty, alkaline water. Locals had long whispered about strange structures and lights near the site. But when researchers got close, they found actual pipe-like formations, fused into the surrounding rock. Even more bizarrely, the pipes aren't just clustered around the mountain, they're inside it. In some spots, vertical shafts and hollow cavities appear to be lined with tube-like materials. Chemical analysis showed that these pipes were composed of iron oxide, calcium, and a surprising amount of silicon dioxide, some of which had been crystallized, implying that these tubes were subjected to extreme heat over a long period. But here's the mystery: who could have engineered such a system? The Chinese government briefly investigated the site and suggested the pipes might be natural formations, perhaps fossilized tree roots or a product of mineral-rich water flow over thousands of years. That remains the official position. However, many geologists and independent researchers find this explanation unsatisfying, pointing to the uniformity, alignment, and metal content of the pipes as clues to artificial origin. Some theorists claim they might be the remnants of an ancient infrastructure, possibly used to transport water, or something else. Others propose far more exotic ideas: evidence of a lost advanced civilization, or even an extraterrestrial outpost, citing the pyramid shape of Mount Baigong and its isolation as suspicious. Despite the attention it once garnered, the Baigong Pipes have quietly slipped back into obscurity. Access to the site is limited, and few new studies have emerged in the past decade. Yet the pipes remain silent, corroded, and defiant, buried in the rock as if someone or something had once tried to hide them. No ancient texts mention them. No tools or settlements have been found nearby. Just pipes, stretching deep into the mountain, connected to a lifeless salt lake. And the question still lingers: were they made by nature or forgotten hands? Number 3. The White Shaman Mural. In the arid canyons of southwestern Texas, not far from the Rio Grande, there is a cliff face that holds one of the most puzzling pieces of ancient rock art ever discovered in North America. Standing over 24 feet tall and stretching across a sheer limestone wall, the White Shaman Mural is a breathtaking explosion of symbols, humanoid figures, and animal shapes, painted in white, red, black, and yellow pigments more than 4,000 years ago. But this isn't just ancient graffiti. Scholars believe it was created by a long-lost group of hunter-gatherers whose culture has left behind no written records and few tools. And yet, what they painted suggests a worldview as complex and layered as any known civilization, full of gods, spirits, and rituals that we are only beginning to understand. The mural centerpiece is a towering white figure with outstretched arms and a horned headdress, dubbed the White Shaman. Surrounding him are dozens of smaller forms. Some appear to be humans in motion, others resemble animals or even beings not easily classified. There are serpent-like lines, spoked circles, and cloud-like clusters, all interwoven in what looks like a cosmic narrative. But what does it mean? Interpretations have varied wildly. Some scholars, such as Dr. Carolyn Boyd, argue that the mural represents a ritual journey between the worlds of the living and the dead, possibly rooted in early Huichol or Aztec mythology. According to this view, the White Shaman is a spiritual guide, mediating between realms during a visionary trance. Others aren't so sure. The complexity of the imagery, the placement of the figures, and the abstract nature of many symbols have led some to propose more speculative theories, that the mural encodes astronomical knowledge, or worse, a record of an encounter with something not of this earth. What deepens the mystery is that the mural is only accessible through a narrow canyon, and its preservation suggests deliberate protection, as if it was meant to be seen only by a select few. No nearby settlements or artifacts have been found to indicate a permanent culture. Whoever painted it came, created, and vanished, leaving only this message in stone. And so it remains, an ancient fresco towering over the Texas desert, staring out across the ages. Is it a myth made visual? A map of a lost cosmology? Or something else entirely? One thing is certain: the White Shaman isn't just a figure on a wall. He's a question that refuses to fade. Number 4. The Kabayan Mummies. High in the mist-covered mountains of northern Luzon, in the Philippines, lie hundreds of ancient burial caves carved into the rock. Hidden deep within are the Kabayan Mummies, bodies remarkably preserved not by climate or coincidence, but by a lost ritual of fire, smoke, and time. Locals call them the fire mummies, and their existence raises more questions than answers. These mummified remains are believed to be over 500 to 1,000 years old, yet many still retain visible skin, tattoos, and even facial features. Unlike the embalming techniques of Egypt or the dry air of the Andes, the Kabayan mummification process involved a painstaking, secretive ritual. The person was first made to drink a salt-rich concoction to dehydrate the body from within. Then, after death, the corpse was smoked slowly over a fire for weeks, allowing the heat and ash to draw out moisture without burning the flesh. But why go to such lengths? And how did this tribe develop such a method in total isolation? The Ibaloi people, who are believed to have created the mummies, considered the process sacred. It was reserved for chieftains and shamans, those believed to hold spiritual power even after death. The mummies were then sealed in hollowed-out logs or stone niches, placed in caves high above the valley floor, as if guarding the land from above. Over time, many of these caves were forgotten. But when they were rediscovered in the 20th century, the sense of wonder was quickly replaced by something darker. Tomb raiders began looting the burial sites, selling bones and skulls on the black market. In one infamous case, a mummy known as Apo Anu, said to be the most revered among them, was stolen and displayed abroad. Shortly after, a string of mysterious fires broke out in the surrounding villages. Locals whispered that the mummy's spirit had been disturbed, and only its return could bring peace. When Apo Anu was finally recovered and brought home, the fires stopped. To this day, many locals avoid the caves after sunset, believing the spirits of the mummies still walk among the stones. Government efforts have tried to protect the area, but the full number of burial sites remains unknown. Some say hundreds more remain hidden in the mountains, waiting to be uncovered or left alone. Are these simply cultural relics, or something more? Whatever the answer, the Kabayan mummies endure, silent, watchful, and wrapped in a legacy of smoke, fire, and forgotten power. Number 5. The Hypogeum of Ħal Saflieni. Beneath the quiet streets of Malta lies a temple with no equal, a subterranean complex carved entirely by hand over 5,000 years ago. Known as the Hypogeum of Ħal Saflieni, it is a place of echoing chambers, winding passageways, and something far stranger, sound that bends the mind. First discovered in the early 1900s during construction work, the Hypogeum revealed layer upon layer of intricately cut rooms and altars, stacked across 3 levels beneath the earth. Archaeologists found the remains of over 7,000 individuals, suggesting the site had deep ritual significance, perhaps even used as a necropolis. But bones weren't the only thing buried here. In a chamber now known as the Oracle Room, researchers noticed something remarkable. When a male voice speaks at a certain pitch, around 110 Hz, the entire chamber resonates, sending sound waves vibrating through the stone. The effect is not merely acoustic. Those standing inside report strange sensations: pressure on the body, dizziness, and even altered states of consciousness. Modern acoustic analysis confirmed the effect is real. The chamber's architecture seems intentionally tuned to enhance low-frequency sound, which is known to interact with the human brain, especially the limbic system, associated with emotion and memory. But how could Neolithic builders, with no written language or advanced tools, engineer such a phenomenon? Some scientists suggest it was accidental, a lucky result of carving into soft limestone. But others believe the Oracle Room was deliberately designed for trance-inducing rituals, possibly to communicate with ancestors or gods. The resonance may have enhanced the voices of priests, making them sound supernatural, their words enveloping all who listened. The mystery deepens with the discovery of elongated skulls among the buried. Several had been modified or shaped, possibly to signify elevated status or to mimic something other. Were these people spiritual elites? Or were they seen as something more? Visitors today are tightly restricted. Only a small number are allowed in each day, and no photography is permitted. The Hypogeum remains shrouded in silence, just as it has for millennia. No writings were found. No clues as to how its builders lived, or why they disappeared. What remains is stone, carved with purpose, shaped by hands that understood something about sound, space, and the human mind that we are only beginning to rediscover. And in that quiet darkness, if you listen closely, you might still hear a voice, not quite your own. History is full of dates, names, and ruins. But some things, some stories, refuse to fit neatly into our timelines. The mysteries you've just seen remain unsolved. Perhaps they always will. Or perhaps someone watching today might hold the missing piece. If you're drawn to the unexplained, to the forgotten, and to the ancient echoes still whispering through time, subscribe to Epic, Ancient Mysteries, and follow us into the unknown. Until next time, stay curious.